we are actually on track timeline-wise.
So Santa's coming to town. House Speaker Paul Ryan earlier today indicating just how much a tax bill means for Congress. Boy, does it ever. Art Laffer, former economic advisor to President Ronald Reagan. How you doing, Art? This is your
I'm doing
topic,
very well,
brother.
Bill. Thank you.
Welcome on back. As an opening bid, do you like what you're hearing or not? Knowing that there's no
like
bill
it
on paper, so go ahead, analyze
it.
it.
Yeah, I do like it, and I like it a lot. I mean, the key to me is the cutting of the corporate tax rate from 35 to 20. I'd like to see it down to 15. But the president said that's a red line, and if he keeps his word on that it's a red line, which I think he will, I think it'll be really great.
Can I stop you there? Only because his red line might be 20, but I'm hearing that could go to 23 or 25. Say it were to go to 25, is that a big deal?
Yes, it's a huge deal. These things are highly levered, these numbers, and what you really have to do to get that down, Bill, is it really changes all the sheltering arguments, all the tax evasion arguments, all the source of business organization, bringing companies back from abroad. Going from 20 to 25 will dissipate the benefits a great deal. And they'll dissipate the benefits on real output employment and the jobs it'll create.
Okay.
So I think it's really a serious red line. I really wish he hadn't gone from 15.
Away from corporate taxes now to the household. This is what the president unveiled last night. This seems to be the headline from that speech in PA. Watch.
But this change, along with a lower tax rate, would likely give the typical American household a $4,000 pay raise. Could be a lot more than that, too. You haven't heard this. So about a $4,000 amount of money additional for the American family to spend. That's very exciting.
I believe that's over 8 years for a family making $50,000 a year. Go ahead and tell us the impact of that. Selling.
Well, that's important for these people for their political arguments. But my view, that is not the key element here in this program, is the static revenue estimates are not what's key. What's key here is creating jobs, output, employment. I would like to see every American's tax bill go up because they earn a lot more and because they have jobs that they otherwise didn't have. That's what really drives me to love this, is it'll create jobs, output, employment. That's the key. And it's not what happens statically to a person's payroll or income. What really is important is the dynamic aspects of growth, and that's what this will do. And by the way, Bill, just for the record, it will pay for itself very nicely, thank you. We'll have an additional over $1 trillion in tax revenues over the next decade because of those cuts.
Two quick questions. How different is it from the 1980s and Ronald Reagan?
It's very similar to the early 1980s. I mean, Ronald Reagan got a huge boost politically that Donald Trump is not. If you'll remember when Hinckley shot at him and did not kill him, Reagan's favorables went way, way up, and therefore he was able to get his bill passed in 1981 quite easily, quite handily.
Okay, so then tell us then, in 2017, how could you make it better?
Well, this bill is pretty good. I think it's a great start. I mean, I think if he is in his full 8 years in office, I think he has one more big tax bill coming, which may be 4 or 5 years from now, that really solves a lot more problems, like we did with the '86 Tax Act. And by the way, by then, once the economy's going, you'll see all the Democrats join us and Republicans and bring us a bipartisan growth package.
What about Rand Paul and Bob Corker? Let's see where they come down on all this.
I'm sorry about them, but you know, we had those guys too in 1980s. Believe me, Reagan was not the most favorable person in the Republican Party. You should have heard what Bush said about him, what Dole said about him, what all these other Republicans bashed him nonstop, just like they do Reagan. Once we get that growth bill, you're going to see everyone joining our camp, and it's not far away.
Has 1,000 champions, right?
It does. Yes, it does.
Art
Thank
Laffer,
you.
Live in Nashville. Talk again. Thanks.
Thanks, Bill.
Very interesting. Can't wait to talk more with Gary Cohn on that in a bit. Meanwhile, the Boy Scouts of America rolling out what is perhaps the biggest change in its 100-year history. And not everybody's happy about it.